Time's up. Let's do this.
We're in for a wild night.
Welcome everyone to episode 292 of Born to be Wild, a wild Hearthstone podcast where we have fun talking about the wild formats of Hearthstone and spotlighting members of the wild community. I am your host, ElectricSheepCity. It is great to be back on this fantastic Friday evening here in Kickin' Rad, Colorado. I am joined by fellow hosts, Hydralisk.
Yo.
And Schmoopiedaddy.
Sup, bruh? For those of you joining us for the first time, welcome aboard. We record this podcast live every Friday evening at twitch.tv/borntobewildhs, and the video version of this podcast is then posted to YouTube shortly thereafter. Audio versions are also distributed to all podcast apps. However you are watching, listening, or absorbing via osmosis this podcast today, thank you. Yes, you.
Content plug. Schmoopiedaddy. Schmoopiedaddy. Before we get into the main topic of the show tonight, I'd like to say a quick thank you to the patrons of our show. Your support means the world to us. If you enjoy this content, please like, subscribe, and comment on this video on YouTube. Another simple way to support the show is to leave a review on your podcast platform of choice. If you're watching live on Twitch, we've got some awesome emotes that you can unlock by subscribing to the channel. This is free if you use Amazon Prime, finally. If you'd like to support the show financially, you can join our Patreon for as little as $1 per month. We have some channels in the Discord that are unlocked by subscribing to the Patreon, where you can see the show coming together each week. Check it out. If you'd like to interact with us personally, please join our Discord and free and amazing online community of friends from all across the world who love talking about Wild Hearthstone. Links to all of this stuff and more, including our merch, can be found on our website, which is www.borntobewildhs.com. Sheep, how was your week?
Man, I don't know. It was long. And so last week I wasn't on the show because I was sick. These things happen. And was still kind of sick through to like Tuesday. And so, yeah.
Right.
Still I had to like work on Tuesday, but
That's dad life, getting sick all the time when you got kid.
Real.
Little kid.
Truth. But on Thursday, I had my my THL match, and so the standard THL degenerates are in the semifinals in Legacy. So, oh my gosh.
Oh, you play for STD.
Maybe we'll get our second chip. Maybe. Hopefully. I think our team is really good. Clearly. I'm a fan. But so I won 3-1. So pretty well. Last week, the first week of playoffs, our 3, 4, and 5 seeds. I'm our 4 seed. All won 3-1. And then our 1 and 2 seeds didn't have to play because
Nice.
there was already decided.
Look at you go.
Hoping to pull that off again this week. Though maybe not, because if Doc doesn't gain any PR, then I move up to the 3 seed. And man, then I'm going to have to put in more effort because, like, if we progress, the next week is the finals. So, you know, I want Doc to have to play and win. So we go to the finals, but I stay at the 4 seed. So, no, I want us to win no matter what way possible.
it's funny that you're talking about like your best seeds not playing. The team I'm all in the Wild THL, KVLT had for 2 seasons, like they'd gotten 2 championships, and he had never played a single series of playoff THL. And so it came into this year, right? We came into this year and we ended up losing. He was the last one to play, and he's like, I could play and try to go for the sweep and tie on points, but we lose on games. It's like, no, you like don't play. Keep the streak alive. So for 3 seasons now, KVLT has not gotten to play any playoff THL at all, which is hysterical.
It's amazing.
Statistically improbable, really. But that's just
Truly.
how it's been.
That is incredible. Well, Hydra, how was your week, friend?
My week was pretty cool for like lame work reasons, I guess. We bought this machine. It's a horizontal milling machine made by this company, Kitamura. And it's like the latest in technology where somebody can be like loading, it's like a pallet changer machine, meaning there's while the machine is running, there's an operator preparing the next workpiece and fixturing it in on a different door on the side of the machine. And they're getting it ready, and they close that little door and they hit this button that says like it's ready to change while the other part is actually running and being machined on the inside. So then what happens is when that part on the inside is done, there's like this secret door thing that goes like whoosh and like swaps, and it spins around and the other one goes inside, and the machine doesn't stop working. Like there's no downtime. Yes, Sheep.
I thought you said lame work reasons. That sounds like an awesome work reason. What are you talking about, man?
It's really cool because normally an operator has to, like, the machine stops and the operator has to open the doors. They got to take the part off, clean it off, and then like load a new one. And so that adds to your cycle time when you're machining something. This eliminates that whole thing. Like you're like cutting your time in half by not having that downtime of the operator loading and unloading parts. It's actually like really cool. The machine is though pretty complicated, and we had this tech guy come in for training and was going to train a couple of us, and then we were going to train some of our apprentices and stuff on it. And even the guy works for the company, and he had to keep calling his head office to be like, do you guys remember how to blah, 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 blah. We had him for 3 days this week. And he's like, I got to fly back to Toronto and like regroup over the weekend, and I'll be back next week because like even I'm confused.
Oh, God.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, great. The guy who works for the company is confused. So anyway, I'm sure it'll be fine, or they'll send somebody else.
Whoa. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, it's a super cool machine that like doubles your efficiency. Like it's pretty cool. That's how you make money, basically. So excited for that. The other thing was, so I'm one of the rare people in this world of like our ish age group that has never seen a Harry Potter movie or read a Harry Potter book. And I know nothing about it other than Revelio, because I hear that coming from my wife's computer whenever she plays that Hogwarts game. Anyways, she convinced me to start reading the series, and I actually, between last week's show and this week's show, started and finished the first book.
Nice. Yeah, they're fast.
Pretty short,
Yeah, well, because reading is a strong word. It's those full cast audible audiobooks where it's basically like you listen to it, but they've cast every single member or whatever. And it's only like 8.5 hours, the first book, and the second one's 9.5, and I only have an hour left in that one.
Yeah, they're short.
They're short. I go for a lot of walks, right? So like in 1 week I got through almost 20 hours, which is kind of funny. And then I find myself getting into it too, because I've never like, they came out, the first book came out in what, it's like the late 90s, right? Something like that.
I was
Mhm.
like, Harry. Okay, so this was really unique as an experience. Harry Potter was like my age, so like as the books came out,
Oh, nice.
the books were
I'm like
kind of
4 months
meeting
younger
me.
than you, so like
At about yeah. So
Yeah.
Sheep, you had the same experience too, right? So like as the books
Exactly.
are coming out, like basically I'm meeting Harry at exactly where he is at his stage. Like when he's a teenager, I'm also a young teenager. It was kind of unique, an experience
Mhm.
that I think
get
that's going to
that.
get lost a lot of times
Yeah.
for a lot of people when they go back. Like you can simulate it and go back and read it, but just like it doesn't quite capture the hype either of like, oh man, there's a new one
Mhm.
and it's he's a year older and now I'm also a year older. So that was interesting,
Yeah.
I think.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember at the time thinking like, oh, that's for like littler kids or whatever. Like, I'm not gonna read that. I'm too
It
old
reads
for
younger earlier on and
Yeah.
gets
Yeah.
I think more complicated
It
as it
does.
goes.
So throughout high school, I worked at Barnes and Noble, and
Oh sure.
This.
so for the book releases, I got to work those, and for the final book release at our Barnes and Noble, in the right north of Austin, in Round Rock, Texas, like I was the like Harry Potter that kids were like taking pictures with and things like
Oh, that's
that.
funny.
Oh, that's so funny.
All right, we'll dress Sheep up as Harry Potter. There you go.
And I had longer hair at the time. Like it was kind of uncanny, apparently.
Yeah, it's fun, and I can tell that like the books are written quite like juvenile, and my wife has said that that changes because
It does.
the kids grow older, things mature, and things get darker, and like all this stuff. But they're still, even though that it's a little juvenile, it's still fun, right? Like
Yeah.
the
Yes.
kids are having fun with their little adventures, and they accidentally do the wrong spells, and like it's cute. In the second book, there's the whole thing that I read about them like stealing the flying car, and it's like gonna crash, and they're having this thing, and they crash, and then like a tree attacks them. What the heck's up with that? Anyway, this is all their fun little adventures. Anyway, I'm right at the end of the second book. I'm sure everyone listening has already read these books, so I'm not spoiling anything. It's like the end of the Chamber of Secrets, and
Mhm.
I still don't know who the descendant of Slytherin is. They haven't said it yet, and there's only like an hour left.
Mhm.
And like Harry's right about to go into the Chamber of Secrets in the bathroom. And yeah, anyway. It's actually interesting, even though when it came out, like I said, I was too quote unquote too old for it. Not really.
Yeah, for
And,
sure,
I just like sort of shunned it, right? Like, bleh, lame. Even Scary Movie 2 made fun of it when when Scary Movie 2 came out. It made fun of it, and I was like, yeah, I can't.
Get 'em.
Scary Movie 2 made fun of it, so I can't read those books. Anyway, I am being entertained. So there you
Scary Movie 2 made fun of a lot of horror movies.
go. Yeah, they made fun of a lot of things. That's yep. Anyway, basically my week has been getting that new machine and playing with it, and listening to a lot of audiobooks, and basically nothing else. No time for love, Dr. Jones. So, Schmoopiedaddy, how's your week?
Well, for me, the week flew. Oh man, it was such an easy work week. So I like kind of timed everything perfectly where like I did my last quiz last week. I had them just engaged enough where this week I felt no qualms about being like, okay, we're going to watch Interstellar while you guys fill out your final project and turn that in. Here's the funny thing. Interstellar was in 2014. It has been 12 years since Interstellar came out. It is now an old movie, and a fair number of my students have never seen it before. So, like, every day I had kids that were sitting there that were like, if you haven't seen it in a while, it starts very slow and very unassuming. And it's like kind of world building, but it starts with like this like documentary type feel where like somebody, old people are talking about what it was like to live back on Earth back then. And so like it doesn't start in an engaging way. It's kind of like a slow boil, but like the moments where the plot picks up, the students are like, they're like, wait, what's he doing? Wait, what's gonna happen? Right? And they're all like, they haven't been paying attention half the time, so now they're locking in, like, oh snap, that's happening. Wait, they were just there and doing and like you could tell that it's like real engagement. And I had a couple people being like, Mr. Schmoopy, I gotta go home and watch this. Like I can't. You're killing me here with like cutting this open, because there's like, it's funny how the 40-minute periods break up, where like they're landing at like perfect spots in the movie for like scene changes. I'm like, all right, this is a good scene change. All right, this is a good scene change. All right, leave it here. And it's like always a cliffhanger. So it's just like a banger for 4 days. And so this week has flown for me, because like I've been grading kids late work, because they don't do work on time. Why would they ever do work on time? So I've been grading kids late work. And I've been watching, sort of having Interstellar going on in the background, and like, you know, I'm starting to get into summer mode. I've stopped wearing socks to work. Like I'm forgetting what day it is. We're just showing up, man, and just chilling. So it's been a pretty like fast work week for me. It's flown by. Schmoopy, today, it being Friday, it's been like an owl themed week, and so the big culminating like activity that they've been learning about owls all week. The big culminating activity was to dissect an owl pellet. And Schmoopy scored a high roll. Schmoopy got a skull from a rodent.
Nice.
And including a skeleton. So like there's pictures of him without any gloves on, like holding up this like rodent skull. So he was like picking through the owl pellet probably. And it's like, well, you washed your hands later, right, dude? He's like, yeah, I washed my hands, whatever, you know. But so he's like getting in there. And like Chubby Mommy is a bio teacher, so I'm like, yep, this is right up her alley. So she has fun. And so the fun thing we did is he came home from school, and we started looking up exactly what animal it might have come from. Because she was like, I think it's a mouse, and I'm like, I don't know, I think it could be a squirrel. And then we look at it, I'm like, you know what, it's probably too small for a squirrel, but I don't think it's a mouse. And then we looked at mouse skulls, and we looked at the teeth. Actually, you know what? I don't know if it's going to be backlit well enough. Here we go. There it is right here. Born to Be Wild exclusive. See, there's the skull. And you see the big old orange teeth that are protruding forwards?
Oh, yeah.
Right? So we looked it up. And mice skulls tend to have the teeth almost coming back at an angle. And so I'm like, Schmoopy, I don't think that's a mouse skull. But we do have voles around by us, which is like, all right, freaking nerd. It's not exactly the same mammal. It's mouse-like in nature. They dig burrows, and they, unlike field mice, have no interest in going inside. No interest in going inside whatsoever. They're inside. They don't have access to water or anything like that, and they need lots of water. So they're like, nah, screw it. I don't want to go there. So when I see them, I don't exterminate them, because they are filling a niche that the mice would otherwise, like, they eat the same food sources. They do that, but like they don't want to come in, and mice do. So I'm like, well, screw that. I'll hang out with the voles, and the mice can peace out. So I usually leave the voles around, but I show Schmoopy. I'm like, all right, well, this is what it could be. When we look up a vole skull, that's what they end up looking like. So I'm like, so we probably ate a vole. So like that was a fun little science thing that we ended up doing today, was figuring out what exactly this owl ate. Yes, go ahead, Sheep.
Do mice and voles like compete? Like, does cultivating the vole habitat that you're doing actively discourage the mice?
I think I don't know if they compete, but they do have similar food sources, and they, I think, feel like they'll burrow in similar places, not necessarily the same, but similar places. They look very much the same. Right. They're like these. They look a little darker and fattier. They're like these cute little dark things that are running around when the grass gets too tall and I start mowing it down. They're like, oh snap, and they're like, they squiggle out. As opposed to mice that they don't have they don't have the same long funny tail that the mice have. So they do look physically different. They're more burrowers. It would make sense the teeth would pop out a little bit more. I don't know. Yeah. Not to get too sidetracked into my local biology. I'm realizing to my horror, as I look around at my fauna recently, that basically everything in my property is an invasive species of one kind or another. It's all invasive. None of it's natural. Some of it I can eat, so that's been fun. But yeah, no, that's been more what I've been doing. Okay, so back to Hearthstone.
Some
Sorry.
of it the owl ate.
Yeah. Some of it the owl ate. Yeah. Well, we can do a great horned owl call, which you should definitely think about doing if you ever find yourself stuck with a skunk, because skunks actually do not want to mess with great horned owls, because great horned owls have no sense of smell. And actually, a way that you can identify a great horned owl nest sometimes is you can follow a skunk smell, because they've been eating skunks and feeding it to their babies. Okay, so like I said, moving on.
You've been learning a lot.
I've been learning a lot. This is great.
I collect a lot of nonsense, guys. I collect a lot of nonsense.
None of that's physics. Like, that's amazing.
None of it's physics. No.
See,
No, I can yap
most
about
of my
birds.
nonsense is just useless. Yours is actually useful.
It's funny because I talk with Shubi Mommy sometimes. It's like, she's like, how do you, like, you know more biology about some of this stuff than I do. And it's like, well, it's what I, like, whatever my brain decided to catch on to. And she's like, well, we never took classes on this stuff, right? So, like, unless you're exposed to it for whatever reason, and my dad was an avid bird watcher. So, like, I've got that kind of in my background of like, oh, here's the birds. Here's the things eating the birds. Oh, hey, look, this is what the hawk left behind. Like, I've got a little bit of that kind of in me anyway. Okay, so back to Hearthstone. Day 1 legend for the first time in months. Definitely the first time this expansion. I don't know how many months it's been. I was excited for that. Right, so Monday rolls around. And I'm like, I can fit in some games like here or there. Got to D5 pretty easily because I think I sufficiently tanked my MMR the month previously with can you find self-lethal on turn 2 priest, which is very good. You basically say your next healing effect is going to deal damage, and then you cast Pendant of Earth and pick Ceaseless Expanse, and it's your like easy like turn 2, turn 3 lethal. And that's like one of the funniest things to do on my short is like, oh man, check out this turn 2 lethal, right? And then like you you send that up and people are like, I think you missed the point of Hearthstone, sir. It's like, oh, unlucky. Anyway, so but it's fun because it's like a fun little puzzle. Like if you're racing the disco lock, it's like you're trying to kill me, but I'm also trying to kill me. Who's gonna wait there first? I think the deck is 0-8, but I've been winning.
You were 8-0.
D5 was easy enough with XL Shadow Priest. But I was facing enough disco lock that I was just like, man, the matchup is like pretty decent, but not like guaranteed. It feels like a coin flip every time. And like, you know, you get to some point, get past D5 with 10x, you're just like, I need to be making progress. It's not good enough to go 50-50 anymore. Mm-hmm. So then I switched to Skipper Odin Warrior because I was kicking myself because the previous month I was just like, man, I saw a really good meta for that. And I never leveraged it. And I queued into a couple of good matches, and then I queued into a TikTok Warlock or two, and I was just like, I'm not doing this anymore. This is impossible. This is why I can't play that deck anymore. Yeah. There's too many bad matchups in the meta. But there's also some. I brought it to THL one week because I knew I could ban the bad matchup if I saw the bad matchup. So it's like it has a spot, but not really one in the meta itself. So then I tried, like, you know, I'm streaming, and I tried Parrot a Hostage Mage. That took forever, and I queued into an Even Warrior who proceeded to rope me every turn that I took them hostage until the very last turn, in which case it switched immediately over to my turn when I was going to kill them with a 35 damage hero power, and they conceded. So I rubbed somebody the wrong way. I did not see them the rest of the climb. They may have uninstalled. Good, saved another life. Yep. Here we go.
Or they just set the game down for the rest of that day since your climb was all of a day.
Possibly. Listen, I'm trying to high roll here. So we So like I was like, all right, but this is gonna take too long. I need to have a faster climb than this. So I swapped over to Token DH for stream, and I tried my Tol'Vir Hunter, and I say it was really Raxius's Tol'Vir Hunter to climb, and those didn't feel guaranteed either. And then somebody in YouTube chat was like, why don't you do like the hostage Discover Mage that I had done a video on? that was a KVLT cook that Marty changed a couple cards around on the inside, NHL fan, and it looked a lot more consistent, a lot more solid. They were talking about like, oh yeah, like we're in like top 100 whatever with records like 12-5, 14-2. Like you can go on streaks with this. And I was like, all right, you know what? I'll try it. First match, I queued up a Borlock, and I'm like, oh man, this might be a short stint, guys. I proceeded to discover, I want to say, discover 4 potions of polymorph. Like I basically mocked the poor guy because no matter what they try, and it was one of the big demon Borlocks too. So it was like everything they dropped was getting turned into a sheep no matter what. And you could tell they were pissed because like one of the times they went in for the combo and then they paused. And they're like, oh no. And so I scammed that first win and would proceed to go 12-2 for the total climb with the deck and hit legend.
That'll do it.
It was something. It was something. I was drinking a lot of beer, because as one would, playing wild occasionally, losing their stuffing. And I was just like playing hostage, and KVLT is just like, yeah, man, at some point you just stop making sense and like you just saying some garbage and then like discover 3 Foss Novas and like no one could beat you. So like that's pretty much what happens. We run the forbidden sequence, like the finisher. The thing that like kind of is like kind of cool about the deck is it does have a quick finisher. We run the Forbidden Sequence quest. We discover enough cards to get the weapon equipped, and then we play ETC's band. And ETC's band is, I forget how we say this guy's name. I think it's like Tehalan Blood whatever.
Oh,
from Badlands. So like, you know, cards are costing, I think 2 less, 3 less. I forget what his exact text is. We're running Thaddeus in the ETC, and we're running Antonidas. And so, depending on how much mana you have, usually you're picking Tony. And then you're hoping for the good order. You're hoping for Tehalan to pop down, and then Thaddeus second. So that when you drop Tony, he costs, I think, 0. And then you play a spell, and that will make a 0 mana fireball, and then you can infinitely fireball them in the face. Aha! And like the real secret tech is if the opponent has a lot of health, reverb the Tony so that you're making 2 fireballs at a time, so that you don't have to wait for the animations of one of the fireballs to get back into your hand. So you can get a little creative with that and like push. I've seen KVLT with his APM push something like. It was stupid. He did like 220 and like just missed lethal on a warrior. So like you could push a lot of damage. Yeah, we don't animation cheat and we're old, so like we got to do whatever we can to try to get there lethal. But normally it's fine. So like that's the good order. The bad order is you know, Thad comes out and then you know the blood elf. That's a hard name to describe. Now I'm blood elf racist. And so now the Tony has to come down, and so what you do is you have to reverb the Thad so that it's been summoned after the blood elf. So now Tony can come down, and like, you know, you probably want to put Tony down and then do the reverb trick, because if you do it that way, that the reverb makes your fireball, and then whew, and then you go funny that way. Or at 10 mana, you could do ETC and pick the Thaddeus and drop the Thaddeus and hopefully have a spell that's 0 mana and go off that way. So like there's it's basically the same game ending combo right here. Can you beat infinite fireballs? Yes, no. And we go from there. Go ahead. Yeah. What were you going to say, Sheep?
The way that I used to run it is I'd run at least one like splitting image, and then even if it was a bad order, then you can splitting image the Thaddeus, and then
you basically want to copy Thad and then occasionally copy Tony. But 90% of the time, I think we're copying Thad.
And so that way, then you win.
Yeah. Cool.
It's cool because I find it's a cool deck because you can do silly things like very easily discover copies of the quest that you've already like done. So if your opponent oozes you or techs you, you could just get the weapon back again. You really don't lose to Talk Lock as long as you don't lose to Talk Lock as long as you don't have anything important in your hand. Like as long as you don't have like ETC in your hand.
Yeah.
You're fine. Like they delete your hand, who cares? Eventually you top deck your ETC, GG's. And it's just about like kind of like constantly generating enough Garbo that they can't play cleanly into you, and you just sort of extend things and win. I want to say like I lost to one Talk Lock. I'm not saying it's an easy matchup, but that was one of my losses. The other loss was my boss fight, number 1 against the Libram Paladin. I did Frost Nova, and I didn't anticipate them being able to make a charger that was big enough to kill me from like 35 or something like that. I was like, all right, whatever. Like, yeah, the alibi was safer, but I figured like use my Nova now while I can use my Nova. I didn't feel that bad. Winning
that happens.
Winning 12 of 14
happen.
games
It's
is
okay.
pretty
good
good
for them.
Yeah.
Just editing.
Honestly, I'm cheering for them in that one.
Yeah, fair enough. Understandable. Just editing that run, all those matches, it was a 2-hour video, and that was me cutting stuff. Remember, that's me cutting out like dead time between queues and like on like pee breaks and stuff. So like it was a long stream. It was fun. Filterphobe joked like, dude, if you had this win rate with any other deck, you'd already be rank 1. It was fun because it was like I like playing Hostage Mage. Hostage Mage is a fun puzzle, and this is kind of a fun version of Hostage Mage because number 1, it kills you quickly, and number 2, the random aspect is really intriguing, right? Like okay, let me discover a spell into discovering a spell into discovering an out, and the thing is like not all discover is equal. I know we usually like don't like discover in Wild. But Mage Discover specifically usually comes along with some sort of mana cheat, or it comes along with some sort of like very targeted pool of things that you're looking for, or it's very like, oh, well, you've already played these spells, so you know what you're going to rediscover. It's just not, it doesn't have the same random. Yeah, in general, it's useful and you can come up with something. And if you can't come up with something, it's like you're either not creative enough or you're just unlucky. Right, like it's like I don't know. I pick up a deck like that and I feel, I mean,
it's
like
almost like what you're queuing into and always taking the potion of polymorph. That comes with experience,
right. And I'm exactly, and I like
not
Clown
everyone's
Fiestas.
Gonna do that.
I think there is a skill to like piloting a Clown Fiesta type match, and so like I feel almost like all the time memeing starts coming into play. Playing a deck like that where it's like, oh, I have these skills of playing Hostage Mage, but also these skills of playing Clown Fiestas, and I'm perfectly comfortable turning this game into either until I can win the whole freaking thing. So that was a fun day 1 legend climb. I hadn't done it with Hostage Mage yet, so that was cool. And last but not least, for the other solo stuff I've been doing, I hit day 1 legend on NA, so now I can't do viewer decks because the queues are too long and I'm queuing into just stone cold killers. So it's like, all right, I can't just be giving my MMR about. I'm going to get my butt kicked the entire time. So I swapped over to EU, and I realized my collection of playable decks on EU. I have some old decks. I have some old lists I had to update or like tweak here or there because of nerfs or whatever. But I had 11 decks, and I was like, all right, so let me just cycle through 11 decks on my free to pay. I mean, I have like an old Treant list, I have an old Mech Rogue list, I have an old Elemental Mage. Like, I'm not saying that, my stuff is super meta, but it's like I have Token DH, and then if that loses, I play Miracle Rogue, and if that loses, I can play 777's Rogue, and if that loses, we're going to play Elemental Mage now. Okay, if that loses, we're going to play Disco. And I'm at D4 over 2 nights. It's been a lot of fun, where it's like we've got 11x. I'm winning more than I'm losing. but also there's a little bit of variety, and it's not on my first profile. So like that's kind of cool. Like kind of hitting that milestone of being like, oh yeah, you actually have a fair amount of options over here on Mr. Free to Play.
Nice. It's a good feeling.
All right, we got a lot to talk about tonight, so let's hop on over into the news.
Welcome to the news. The news is so good.
And how? So starting with Break the Rules and Escape from Violet Hold, Hearthstone's next expansion. So launching on July 7th, Hearthstone's next expansion follows a ragtag group of outlaws as they hatch a daring plan to break out of Dalaran's maximum security prison. Get ready to escape from Violet Hold. So like Azalea nailed it.
Yeah.
In this unprecedented expansion, you'll break the rules of Hearthstone with brand new mechanics, running duplicate legendaries, sneaking minions onto your opponent's side of the board, and drawing an extra card each turn. Might sound illegal, but in this expansion, you're playing by your own rules. Be sure to check out the cinematic trailer for Escape from the Violet Hold. And then they have a cinematic trailer. I'm very glad that we're getting yet another cinematic trailer, like another one. And watch the Hearthstone design team go in depth on all the new cards and mechanics coming in Escape from Violet Hold. So there's also a video for Escape from Violet Hold. The mastermind behind the heist is Vanessa Van Cleef, daughter of notorious Defias Brotherhood leader Edwin Van Cleef. She's assembling the best of the worst for the ultimate prison break, with magically sealed cells, armored guards, and a prison that shifts into an arcane maze. Escaping the hold is said to be impossible. Vanessa and her crew plan to prove otherwise. As if the traps and guards weren't enough, legendary watcher Maiev Shadowsong has been summoned as the new warden. You didn't think getting out would be easy, did you? And so then they've kind of broken it down. We've got a table of contents here. So to preview, we are going to cover Meet the Rule Breakers, the new keyword prepare, Warden Maiev, disguised minions, bribes, free cards, the pre-release tavern brawl, and pre-order options. So I'm not going to do a dramatic reading for the rest of it because yeah, we're not Blizzard marketing.
We're not, decidedly. Oh, can I say one thing about the rule breaker thing?
Please
Cool. When these are live and in your collection, you can actually search for them by typing in rule breaker in the search bar, which is neat.
Oh, I love that.
Yep, they're categorized by that, which is nice.
So the first rule breaker that we're meeting is Chainbreaker Hogger. And we'll talk more about Chainbreaker Hogger in the discussion topic when we cover all of them. So briefly, he's an 8-mana 10/10 taunt. Why would we care about this? Start of the game, duplicate all other legendary cards in your deck. And he is a warrior legendary, so he's not one that can be run in everything.
We can talk about applications later. This is actually pretty spicy.
Yeah. The next one that they introduced to us is take 2 hero powers and call me in the morning. That's Blood Doctor Thelena. And we won't talk about Thelena later, so we can talk about her now.
Sure.
She's a 5-mana 4/5 undead legendary for Death Knight with the battle cry, get a second hero power that costs corpses. And that hero power costs in this one at least 3 corpses. That's looks like yeah, that's consistent because in the video they have 5 corpses. Cost 3 corpses, give a minion +3 attack. This costs corpses instead of mana because of course it does. So whenever you play Blood Doctor Thelena, then you get an awesome second hero power. Noteworthy, she does have 1 blood rune, so you cannot run Blood Doctor Thelena and Grave Runes in the same deck.
Worth noting that somebody on Reddit has already complained, or no, maybe it was Twitter. Somebody already complained to play Hearthstone that the hero power at 3 mana is too expensive. Not realizing the hero power costs corpses. And how many places, I'm looking at it now, how many places have they indicated that it costs corpses? Like, I don't always, okay, I actually have a rule in my server and my space that we don't dunk on each other for, like, not understanding new cards the moment we first read them. Because I know I skim, but also we've never played with the cards, right? So how would we know? So, like, you know, but like this is like Zoomer levels of not reading. Battle Cry, get a second hero power that costs in bold corpses. You look at the hero power, the top symbol is in corpses, and then also in the text for the hero power they remind you again that it costs corpses. So like, it's corpses, man. I don't know if this is going to be good. It's yet another way to juice up climactic necrotic explosion, which I think is a big positive.
Yeah,
that is like,
that's a big positive.
It's I think something that is actually pretty decent as a win condition. People will like yell at me and be like, Schmoopy, you're coping too much. But I do think climactic necrotic explosion has a lot of, like, we have a lot of good corpse spenders right now in Wild. It's bad. It's a bad meta to try to make DK Wild. It's too fast a meta. Talk Lock would eat it alive. But it's interesting.
Excitement abounds. I mean, I can't wait to play around with some spice. Draw rules. Void where prohibited. This is another one that we're going to talk about more extensively later. So this is Irida Senseeker, a 4-mana 7/5 lifesteal battle cry. Send your deck to the void. At the start of your turns, get 2 cards from the void. And that's a Demon Hunter legendary. So can't wait to talk about that one. That's going to be really cool.
Yeah, that was fun.
There's also a new keyword. That new keyword is called prepare. The new prepare keyword lets you set up explosive turns in advance. Drag a prepare card onto your deck. So kind of like forging. Thank you. So onto your deck to spend your remaining mana and reduce its cost by that amount +1. So if you had 3 remaining mana, it discounts it by 4. Is how I read that. It returns to your hand and can be played on a future turn. For example, if you have 3 mana, it uses that same exact amount. Great. If you have 3 mana left, it becomes 4 mana cheaper. When you play that prepared card on a later turn, you can surprise your opponent with a much bigger play than expected.
I wonder, well, I mean, you're going to see the mana drop, right? I wonder if they're going to do a visual cue for the opponent that you prepared. You know what I mean? Like, you can see when somebody like forges.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, completely agreed. So for our video enjoyers, here's what it looks like in action. So it's a lock in the top left corner before, like you'll see it in the collection. And once you drag it over to the to the deck, then you bind it essentially with the chains. So it's very thematic, and the deck looks like it has a really cool like cosmic celestial kind of thing going on with it too. So I wonder how that'll play into like the lore. That'll be cool.
Yeah, I mean, and again, you're preparing it so you can't play it that same turn. So even if you prepare it all the way down to 0, you can't. Right. It's got to be next turn.
Because you're just preparing.
Be prepared.
Oh, where's be prepared from? Okay, where'd that? That's okay.
You are
we'll talk
not
about that
prepared.
Later. We'll talk about that one later. I recognize that song.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you meant like Illidan.
That too. I think Illidan. Did Illidan get? I think Illidan's serving time here.
I imagine.
I know, we're gonna have to ask. We're gonna have to ask Goliath.
And or wait for some more reveals.
He's probably in solitary confinement, you know, like down in the very far basement.
For how many years?
10,000 years.
So they give us some other examples. Like Defy a Smuggler, a 3-mana 2/3 with Prepare and Battle Cry. Give a friendly minion +2 attack and rush. And Tunneling Geomancer, a 3-mana 2/3, Prepare, spell damage +1. Both of those are neutral. Defy a Smuggler was common. Tunneling Geomancer is epic. Black Market Auctioneer, which we'll talk about more later, is a 9-mana 4/4. Prepare. Whenever you cast a spell, draw a card. Very similar to a previous one.
Mm-hmm.
That is also neutral and is epic. Finally, in this group of reveals was Commissary Cook. I know how to say that word.
Yeah.
Is Commissary Cook, a 3-mana 4/3 undead. Prepare, Battle Cry, spend all your mana, summon a random minion of that cost.
Sheep, if I had a Hearthstone card for every Hearthstone card I couldn't pronounce, I would have a full collection.
Ayo!
Can't pronounce any of them. Me neither.
Yeah. I've said them wrong so many times, but hey. They make
What
it hard
can you do?
sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Well, next we've got Case the Hold. The Violet Hold is I'm not gonna read all of this one's lore. I am gonna read all of this initial bit. The Violet Hold is a sprawling prison full of surprises. Scope out the forbidden artifact lockup, the medical ward, and heavily enchanted containment units holding some very dangerous magical entities. Down in the demon vaults, Morag has just been waiting for a chance to break loose. So he's right though.
Like I like that like whole dark side sort of like we don't know what's down in all these different holds. The medical ward, what could be in there? Like I think it's cool. Creepy and cool.
Hell yeah. We love horror movies. We love Stephen King, right? Like this is all those different kind of vibes. Like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest kind of horror.
Oh yeah. Like when you say medical ward, I don't think of like some clean hospital that like Ben from work probably works at. I'm thinking of those things you just mentioned. Yeah.
Nurse Ratched. If it's clean, then it's like that kind of stuff. Yeah. So they introduce Morag, who is a 10 mana 6/5 demon for Warlock. Prepare. Death Rattle, summon a random demon from your deck. Give it Death Rattle, summon Morag.
Cool.
It's going to inspire people to play big demon Warlock, which is a decent enough deck without Morag in it. So I don't think we're going to be using Morag, but I'm not going to stop anybody, and they're going to send it to me anyway, and I'm going to cry.
They realize you're just inviting people to.
Yeah, I know.
Mm-hmm.
I look forward to that, actually.
So, yeah. And I think this is really standard technology. Yeah. Like, let's be real. You know, they design cards for standard.
Hey, having multiple copies of legendaries to play is wild technology, kind of, you know? So...
That part is very much so. Hard agree. The Warden initiates lockdown. Of course, no one is breaking out of Violet Hold without getting past the Warden. And when things spiral out of control like this, they call in the best. Warden Maev. I mean, why would they have to call her in if she's the Warden? She already works there? But I know it's
maybe she's on a business trip. Maybe she's in like the decorated shed, like just outside of the complex, because like she's the warden, so like she gets special privileges, like a rest shed. And now they got to go to the shed and they got to get Maev, and no one wants to go to the shed.
Or maybe she was off doing her adventurely things, but she's also the warden, so they did have to call her back and be like, yo, warden, get back here.
I just realized I unconsciously called Maev's shed the Chev,
was hoping that...
and no one wants to go to the Chev. That was not on purpose, but you know what?
She's got a Chev.
She's got one now.
Own it.
That's it. That's my headcanon. I'll ask Goliath about it later.
The Chevrolet.
So... Warden Maev is a 2 mana 1/4 neutral legendary that reads, after you play a minion, give it +3/+3 and make it go dormant for 1 turn. So that's going to be cute. Like, I want to play that in Cute Lock.
That's pretty neat. If you can make this thing stick or wait for pop off. Well, I mean, they're all 0 mana. If you play 0 mana stuff, yeah.
It makes Duskfall and Aviana more viable. That's the nicest thing I can say about it.
Oh, I'm not saying that the Warden Maev version of Cute Luck is going to be good. I'm saying I want to do it.
Fair.
These two things are very different.
It is only 2 mana, and it is dormant for 1 turn.
Right.
So like you might find some fringe application, like trying to pair her with a combo piece like Spirit of the Shark or something that you want like to make sure it cannot be disrupted, right? That might be cute. And she isn't all that much mana, so she'll be a piece for a while, but it's I don't see her breaking wild, but I don't know. It's a piece you could use.
It's a cute card.
Yeah, completely agreed. She's not a format breaker, but I think she'll be fun. My aggro brain is itching. I'm just like, yeah, I want to like on turn 1 coin Warden Maev, like Wisp, like.
But then, are they going to wake up a summoning sickness too, right?
I mean, yeah, but if I'm coining on 1, then on my turn 3, like they're on the board, and then on my turn, like,
see, I went with hand buff paladin,
and I can
chargers, because I would want my chargers to go face immediately
too.
Or rushers. Rush not as cute to me. I would rather much like let me get my quote unquote summoning sickness turn as soon as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Boom, go is where my head went with it. But I don't think I would intentionally play her in hand buff paladin, period. And Sheep, you've played a lot of hand buff paladin, and Hydra, I
And
think
that's
you've
not where
also
my
played
mind
some
went
hand buff paladin.
at all.
So like, I don't know. You
Yeah.
can admit, it gets picked off Christology. Are we really happy about that? Maybe yes, maybe no. I think there's better hits off Christology, but like that's again. I am seeing cards this expansion, even though we've only sort of brushed over some of the ones that I really want to go deeper on for the discussion topic. But like, we're getting a lot of cards that are gonna like be interesting and require a cook. So that's fun.
Yeah, for sure. I'm sure they'll find something in standard for this and people will hate it.
Well, I mean, that's what's really funny is like, I don't know if every card we're going to talk about tonight is necessarily meeting standard at the moment where it's at, which is very funny.
So next, become a master of disguise. With the new disguised minions, you can, for the first time in Hearthstone history, play minions on your opponent's side of the board. So unlike Silas, where you have to like do a thing to like get it there, you can play it directly on there. That's kind of neat. The example that they give is for the warrior class, minions often become enraged when they take damage. So Disguised Watchman's ability feels right at home on your side of the board. Disguised Watchman is a 2-mana 2/4 warrior rare minion with no minion type. Reads, can be placed on either side. Battle Cry, deal 1 damage to all other friendly minions twice. But if your opponent decides to go low and wide, you can play her onto their board to unleash a sneaky attack. And on the video, they show a board full of 1/1 minions with divine shields, and boom, divine shield goes away.
That animation's very funny.
It
It's
is.
neat, hey?
It
Yeah. It shoots like an individual thing at each one twice. That's cool.
It's
It
doing the
looks
whip.
cool.
It's I think doing the whip animation, but it like no, it's not even a whip animation. I don't know which one is that. I forgot.
It's cool.
I wonder what would happen. I was scrolling up to see if the art would give a clue, but I can't tell.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, I'd have to see some full-sized art. Maybe you could tell there.
I wonder as well, like how it'll look if you put her like in the middle, because in the video, you know, it should.
Oh yeah,
Put her on
it's
one
all
side
going one
and
way. Will
whap,
it like
whap.
split? Make some
Probably.
like McDonald's arches.
Because the animation from the hero herself, like it arcs across the whole board.
Mhm.
Like it's really immersive. Like VFX team did a great job, or
Yeah,
whatever
that's
team
cool.
does that. I don't know.
I wonder how hard that was to let them do that. Like, if there was any coding in the game that actually allowed you to play something over there, because like so far you just have not been allowed. It's like they had to. That'd be funny if when they flicked the switch, like they changed a parameter from a 0 to a 1 to make this allowed. That like now it broke something else. You can play.
I mean, that's just you're just explaining a normal Hearthstone expansion. They come like hurricanes. Like it just you hope that like you evacuate with everybody else, and you hope that when you come back, like your stuff's still in one piece.
Yeah. Someone will find the one card that you could play on the other side of the board that you weren't supposed to. Now,
Doggy biscuit, a doggy biscuit crying right now in the corner.
oh, rip.
Well, you can also bribe your way out, because not every obstacle in the Violet Hold requires brute force. Sometimes a deal is the best way forward. Bribe cards give you a powerful effect while also giving your opponent a little something in return. So the examples they give. First example is Deadly Bribe, which is a 3-mana, looks like rogue spell.
Yes.
Epic. destroy a minion and give your opponent a coin. Combo, you get one too. Definitely. Rogue combo and the coin mechanic, which they're doing with the thing with the legendary we already talked about. Makes sense. That seems like a fun deck to play in standard. Maybe in ours with the coin.
No, not ours. Not ours. Not ours unless it's a fringe like meme combo where you're filling your opponent's hand with coins or some garbo. Like it's not oh, look, it's 3 mana Prince Gallywix. No, thanks. No, I don't think so.
Cool. The other example that they give is Dark Bribe, which is a demon hunter shadow spell, common, that reads draw 3 cards. It's 2 mana. Draw 3 cards. Pick one to give to your opponent. And that's one we're going to talk about a little bit more in our discussion topic, because that is definitely going to be wild relevant. Calling it now. That's like the coldest take ever, I think. Claim free cards early. Psst, keep this between us, but we're smuggling you a free legendary ahead of release. Oh, so they're telling us that we're getting the Vanessa Ring leader for free if we log in now. We can also spring 3 additional cards free before the expansion launches through the in-game events. They hyperlink another one. Guess what? We're going to talk about that article too, so fine. So we are going to be getting / have already gotten Tunneling Geomancer and that Commissary Cook and the bribe card Deadly Bribe. Ooh. I haven't unlocked Deadly Bribe yet, I don't think. I think I'd know that. Pre-release Tavern Brawl. There's also going to be one of those things. It's going to, yeah. And they're rolling out a new format with it. So you can build a deck using only cards from this set, but you can use cards from any class together in one deck. So only new cards, but throw any of them in there. That seems interesting.
I like that a lot, actually. Like, people want people to use the new cards.
Uh-huh.
But you're totally incentivized to use whatever cards are good, regardless if that's the new cards or not, and it's usually not the new cards. So, you know, that's like a really nice way to implement, okay, how do we make sure people are using new cards? And also, you don't feel, one of the downsides of doing all the new cards is what? Like access, right? Like, so somebody has done a pre-order, they are now, you know, pay to play, they are now further ahead than me in the pre-release Tavern Brawl, which is a little bit goofy because now the rich are getting richer because they can farm packs and I have nothing and I can't catch up. So giving the temporary copies, how much you want to bet us getting like the 2 sets of whatever for free for the past month or so, that's running out soon, by the way. How much you want to bet this was a test run for that in it to a certain extent? Like, hey, how does this mechanic work? Any bugs pop up? Which if it becomes a regular thing that we're constantly getting, like, hey, for now, here's a temporary new set. Hey, for now, here's temporary. I mean, that's just another win, and I love that change. And it probably won't get in a lot of press, but like, that's another new free thing that we get from Blizzard. That we didn't used to. That's a huge quality of life upgrade.
To yes and that, like this kind of a pre-release Tavern Brawl kind of scratches the itch that like a previous format that I don't necessarily need to continue bringing up. But like, this is that kind of innovative thing that I kind of like to see, and tying it to an event, tying it to this, but like making it that more restrictive thing, but for an actual reason. Like I see this as an absolute win. TBH.
Yeah. I think this just encourages it even more. Like maybe they're not seeing the numbers that they want to see of people playing pre-release Tavern Brawls, and telling everybody that, hey, take all your new cards from every class and smash them together into something cool, right? A Franken deck. Like that would incentivize me, if I've never played a pre-release Tavern Brawl, to actually do the thing, right? Like you mean I could do what? And then when it's over, people are going to be like, we want more. I want to do that again. That was cool. It'd be like more incentivized to do it. Next expansion. Possibly also a testing ground to do something like that more in the future.
Well,
Yeah.
you know, they said
what I mean?
that they
Like-
were going to invest those resources into Tavern Brawl. And this is a Tavern Brawl. It's a pre-release Tavern Brawl, but it is a Tavern Brawl. So
That is
like,
true. That's more.
I
That's
hope
more.
there's something ridiculous
makes that more exciting
and then they have to ban a bunch of stuff.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Well, that's the thing is like you hope that if that's how the set's gonna like come out and how the pre-release Tavern Brawl is gonna come out, you're gonna hope that there's more than one. You're gonna hope the balance is there when you start adding all the classes and with free access to any card ever all together, right? Like you don't want the format to be ruled by prepare DK. Okay, like we all know how degenerate it is. We know, you know how it ends the game, right? I'm being super facetious here, but like you get the idea. It's like oh, it's gonna really suck if one
insert
particular
archetype here, right?
yeah, like it dominates and everybody's like, oh man, that sucks. I would much rather. I would hope that, and this is the risk that you're taking, is that there's a balanced combination when you throw the cards together.
I wonder too, like if there is a card that has to be banned, right? Like how would they address that from like a player economy perspective, right? My idea would be like, hey, if they do have to ban a card, the player that the card gets banned gets a free card of whatever that like rarity is. So, you know, if it's a rare, then they get another free rare in addition to the one that's already in their collection.
They usually
Then everyone's kind of happy.
Well, what they'll usually do is if you're using it in a current run,
Yeah,
force
yeah,
you to
yeah.
retire the run, but you get wherever you were at the run and resources to go do another run. So, like, I think
Yeah.
that's more than fair enough. Like,
Agreed.
Because it's not like the card's banned forever.
no, it's just Tavern Brawl.
It's just
Right.
Tavern Brawl. Like you can play
And you
it
spent
once
no
the
dust
sets out.
crafting anything because it was all given to you. So,
Right.
like,
You spent no dust, but you spent money directly. And like if you know, only got like very little things, like you didn't do any of the pre-orders, and so like you only got one legendary, and hey, it was a good one. You lucked out, but then
And they
it's
banned that one. Probably.
banned. How are you going to
Yeah, but,
effectively engage?
Your
It
SOL
makes it harder.
I guess. But you have
Them's
access
the
to it already
breaks.
for just the Tavern Brawl, right? Like if we're talking about just in the fishbowl of the Tavern Brawl, it's not like it's banned when the cards go live. But I think usually if it's just you refund, I think they just end up refunding
Just
the
refund
runs.
the run. Yeah,
That's usually
which makes
pretty
sense
generous.
because you'll get at least one pack's worth from
get pack,
from a
usually get
run.
dust and like
Yeah.
and a ticket for another one. Yeah, cool.
So
Fair
makes sense,
One can dream though.
right? So then they say pre-order Escape from the Violet Hold now, and they give their pitch. The pre-purchase bundle, pre-purchase mega bundle, or pick up both to receive 2 free random golden epic cards from Escape from the Violet Hold, and unlock the option to purchase the pre-purchase sequence bundle containing the Morag Diamond Legendary card. So at least the sequence diamond that's behind it is not one that I'm particularly
It looks cool,
it does.
but also too rich for my blood, and I'm okay with that. Oh, he juggles the keys. It's pretty cool.
You have over a whole month to do this, too, to pre-order. July 7th, this comes out on. So, like, that's a long time. I don't remember if they always give us this long of time.
She was clicking
they?
pre-purchase.
You know what? Yeah, don't leave it too long because they'll forget about it. I did that only one time where I was like, I'm too tired. I'll do it tomorrow. Forget it. I'll do it tomorrow. And then there's been at least twice. There was one time where I actually missed it. I went to work and I completely forgot about it and I didn't pre-order. And then I had to just buy packs. It sucked. The other time I actually remembered before I was leaving the house and like ran to my computer in the morning and like turned it on and went and pre-ordered on my way to work, because basically you can do it that morning until the expansion launches at like 10 a.m. Pacific time.
Yeah.
Right. So it was like 7 in the morning or something. I'm like, oh crap, I gotta go pre-order real quick. But yeah, so literally I've only missed one time because I was stupid because I started pre-ordering in Mean Streets. Before that I was like, that's expensive. I'm not doing that. I'm free to play. Well, since Mean Streets, I have not been. I was free to play till then.
I've stopped pre-ordering, but that's because I climbed standard just enough to get the first 2 ranked bundles that are all standard packs. And then I save the standard packs for the next expansion, and then I open those. And that usually is good enough to start me until, you know, you play Arena and you get inundated with packs. And, like, you know, it's just, like, slowly but surely you build up the entire expansion from there. But, like, I will do, you know, I will collect, like, 200 standard packs from, like, $15 here, 20, $25 there kind of thing. They're usually pretty good values. I don't like going above. I don't think it's worth it hitting Legend because I don't really like the more expensive bundles past Silver in my mind are like not really worth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, next in the news, we have patch 35.6 patch notes. The patch 35.6 launched today from the day of their writing. This was Tuesday the 2nd. Patch 35.6 launching today, asterisk, starts the countdown to Hearthstone's next expansion, Escape from the Violet Hold. It also contains balance updates for Battlegrounds and Arena, new events with free rewards, and more. So they've got some useful links there. One of those we've already read. One of those we're gonna read. The next one is table of contents. So what we're going to talk about, new expansion, Escape from Violet Hold. We're gonna pretty much skim that because we just read that. Free legendary card. We're gonna skim that because we just read that. New events. Zoom in. Arena. Zoom in. Battlegrounds. We're gonna skip that because we're not a Battlegrounds podcast. A new pet Cthulhu. Free packs and bug fixes. So that's on the agenda for this one. It's another big one, but we're gonna skim a fair bit of it because we just talked about those things. Starting with pre-purchase, Escape from the Violet Hold. And they give the spiel about that thing with the videos that we talked about in the last news item. Log in and get Vanessa the Ringleader for free. Log into Hearthstone now to get Vanessa the Ringleader legendary card for free. Did that sound like I read the same thing twice? Because I just read 2 different lines.
That is true.
One's a title, one's the content, but still.
I find both these news articles are very redundant as well. Not even just those lines that you read, but these 2 articles like cover a lot of the same material.
Yeah, but like we talked about a couple weeks ago, Schmoopiedaddy, I guess. You weren't there for that one. So like Schmoopiedaddy and I talked about a couple weeks ago, multiple modes of communication, saying it multiple times. Like someone, if they just stumble upon one of the links, like, makes sense.
Repetition for emphasis and to fill in all the gaps.
Mm-hmm. So Vanessa, the ringleader, again, is a 6-mana 4/4 neutral legendary. Prepare after you play a card, get a random battle cry minion. It costs 2 less. Actually, I don't know that we covered her in the last one. I don't know that she's really going to be
mid. We don't
worth
have
in our
to.
format. So
Yeah, it's okay.
Our pool of battle cry minions is much larger than standards.
Yeah, it could be a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
A lot
New
of bad
events
things.
and legendary quest lines. Prison Break. So the first one, it's already started because it's June 5th in time of recording. This one is June 2nd through 16th. Vanessa Van Cleef, the mastermind behind the big breakout, is orchestrating a series of prison transfers to assemble her crew inside the Violet Hold. The inmates she needs are scattered across Azeroth's secure prisons, so you'll need to distract Warden Maev while Vanessa pulls the strings to bring them together. Lend a hand, and there's a little contraband in it for you. So that's how we get Tunneling Geomancer, which is in the game now. And that's the only one in this event, which is why I was correct earlier whenever I was like, oh, I don't think I've earned that one yet. We haven't had the opportunity. You're right, Hydra. That's why. Because the other ones we will learn, we will earn, not will learn, in the next event, which is June 16th until July 7th. Warden Maev is initiating full lockdown across the Violet Hold. Tread carefully while completing these event missions. It's almost time to enact Vanessa Van Cleef's master plan. Help with the final preparations, and you won't walk away empty-handed. And in this one, so the previous one, the one that's on right now, backing up a little, I do want to highlight that, so Twilight, or the Tunneling Geomancer, cool. That's the first one. Some arena tickets / new pre-purchase Tavern Brawl tickets later. In a pack. The thing that I actually want to highlight and is worth coming back for is the random unowned light hero skin from Year of the Pegasus. I love when they do things like this. And they did it again here. So like I wanted to highlight that and appreciate that, because that gets me to play on more than just my NA account more. Like I haven't played on my EU account nearly as much. And I know that I'm going to reinvest some time because of this. So yeah. That's a good thing.
Blizzard. I like it when we get stuff like that.
And finally, on the rewards track are some golden tunneling geomancers, a golden cataclysm pack, and one of the new escape from Violet Hold packs. So now the next event, the one that we gave the lore for already, that one we're going to get the Deadly Bribe and the Commissary Cook. I can't tell which one is which on the order of the reward track. Cataclysm pack, a Escape from Violet Hold pack, golden versions of both of those things, some tickets,
It's also funny because how could you tell right away? Because if you read the list isn't in the order that you get them in either.
No,
way that
right?
They've listed them. They've listed it in like a random order. So that's why it's hard.
Exactly. And finally, the Dalaran Warden Maiev Rogue Hero Skin. That's definitely gonna be worth chasing.
Oh, that looks cool.
For sure.
It does
For
look
sure.
cool.
And the Commissary Cook, that is that 3 mana 4/3 undead druid epic. Prepare, battle cry, spend all your mana, cast or summon a random minion of that cost. So you essentially get an extra 4/3.
Ish.
Looks like an arena
Ish.
card to me, honestly.
Yeah. And Deadly Bribe. Oh, I'm not going to highlight every single card every single time. Event cards will be available
We know that
again.
one's cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Event reward cards will be available again in a future patch. So if it was a Cataclysm one, then it'll be a Cata blah, blah, blah. So starting in patch 35.6, Dragon Soul Shattered will be granted after opening a Cataclysm pack. Starting in patch 36.0, Tunneling Geomancer will be granted after opening an Escape from Violet Hold pack. Starting with 36.2, Commissary Cook and Deadly Bribe will be opened after that as well. I'm guessing that these patches are roughly correspond with when the events happen, and thus when we would be able to redeem the one that just ended, right? Like, makes sense. There's also a new legendary quest chain. When it comes to pulling off a successful heist, preparation is key. Start planning your breakout early with a new legendary quest chain. That lore was not nearly as engaging, but that's fine. From June 9 to July 7, play standard games and rake in the loot. So that loot is a Catapack, a golden Catapack, a new Escape from Violet Hold pack, and a new golden Escape from Violet Hold pack. FYI, coming up. Arena updates. Hydralisk, will you read this for me in your best Ben Brode impression?
Well met! We've enjoyed seeing all the creative class combinations in this season of Dual Class Arena. We've heard your feedback, and double Herald drafts can be a bit too strong, leading to snowballing games that are not as fun to play against. So we're reducing how often these cards appear. When Herald was first launched, we intentionally increased its appearance rate to highlight the new mechanic. Now, we're dialing that back for a healthier dual class arena experience. Specifically, we're reducing the number of Herald cards in legendary buckets that contain Herald legendaries by 1 and replacing it with a non-Herald card, as well as lowering the overall appearance rate of Herald cards to be in line with other class cards. We hope these changes herald a more fun playing field for everyone. We'll see you in the tavern. I had a Ben Brode laugh, so he laughs at his own joke.
That nailed it. Completely nailed it. Schmoopiedaddy, take it away.
I have played some Arena since they've made these changes, and noticed that when you do pick 2 Herald classes, it's not automatically pick 2 Herald classes anymore. I think just like from my own like gut play a little bit, Priest has some really good cards, but had no Herald mechanic. So like it was like you don't really want to pick Priest. You were always picking 2 Herald classes when you were drafting previously. Now you kind of look at a class like Priest, or you look at a class like Mage, which has a lot of hand damage, but no benefits from like the actual Herald mechanic. It's kind of nice now that you don't feel like you have to do the Herald stuff, but it's still probably the best thing you can do in Arena, but you do have some choice in the dual class part.
Excellent. It sounds like great, like balance updates and implementations.
Yeah, it's been I've had some fun. Yeah, for sure.
You take those.
Excellent. Battlegrounds updates happened. Pet Cthulhu and Tiny Raids are coming to the Dark Moon Fair Treasures. We're not going to actively cover those currently, at least. And they don't say what all of those things are up there.
Oh my gosh,
here.
there's like a little video of the Tiny Raid thing. It looks like kind of cool. It's like a little pet Cthulhu is being attacked by all these minions that ran across the board.
Good. This thing freaks me out. This thing, I'm not gonna lie. This thing kind of freaks me out a bit.
Which one freaks you out the most?
I see it far right. Far right, I think.
I didn't look at what they
the
all
mech
look
one?
like. I only looked at the
Yeah,
first
the mech
cute
one is no. Nope. You know what? I have oh god. You know what? As I look at them all in the eye, they all terrify me a little bit. My inner monkey is shrieking and throwing poo. It's not
I thought you would like it when I first heard about this, which is kind of funny.
It's like okay, so like imagine you just sort of look at the face. The face looks like generic child show, and then they just like stapled Eldritch Horror onto the top of the head. So it's
That's
like
what I love
don't know,
about
it's
it.
mostly just disturbing. And it's too cute. It's like why does its face look like that? Like, and this is is like, well, yeah, but like Cthulhu doesn't. I don't think he has two eyes.
Ugly things
in that exact place. I don't. It's
The mech one is scary though. I might have nightmares about that one.
I hear what you're all saying, and I just want to give him a little snuggle. Oh, just want to pinch his little cheek.
I don't want to snuggle that thing.
That was like everyone thought was awful looking, and Sheep, you just wanted to cuddle the crap out of it. I can't remember what one it was.
I don't remember either, but I remember it was adorable.
I want to
like
slay it. I don't want to taste its flesh. I don't want to do any. I don't want to eat it. No, I'll leave it be. But it's this. It's.
I don't want to taste its flesh either. I said I want.
Well, I mean, I like calamari, so like it's on the table. Okay. It's a little octopus guy. I eat octopus. I get it. But that blue one. You know what? I think my least favorite's the blue one with the purple eyes. That one looks like it eats you from like the bottom up. It starts with the toes and then like makes eye contact the entire time. No, that one I think is the worst one.
See, and I think my favorite one is the OG one, like the very far left, the first one that you don't even have to unlock.
That one looks like it at least dies to fire. The other ones look like you got to get a little bit more creative. I'm not exactly sure how that would go about, but like that far left one at least looks puntable.
My other favorite is the far right one, and that one I can see myself playing with mech decks.
Can't punt that one. You're gonna stub a toe.
Unless you kick it in the top eye.
So I lied earlier. We were going to talk about the pet for quite a bit.
We're not going to discuss this. That we discuss it all, but yeah. I feel like even the cutest one, if you wanted to physically pet it, you couldn't. Like you go in, it's got some crazy teeth or whatever that is holding the eyeball up on the top.
I just don't think you're trying hard enough to pet it.
You can't force it to love you, sheep.
I can't force it to love me, but
If
I
if
can't
try
force you to
pet-
love it, but I can love it.
If I try to pet that thing, I'm gonna bring my hand away and it's gonna be missing 3 fingers.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But it's gonna look up at you and it's gonna have a snaggletooth little
thank
grin
you.
with like two
thank
fingers like hanging down, and it's just gonna be so cute.
I don't wanna. No, you can't make me.
Oh.
Oh man.
As a reminder, the check out the pull rates before you engage with any of this. If you decide to, the way that I like to approach it is think of it as a bundle if you're going after whatever the big thing is, because that's the only way you're gonna get it. You're gonna get it with the last pull. So assume that it's gonna be a bundle and an expensive one.
You will see posts or someone saying like, "Oh, I got it on my second pull," but that was one in how, like, whatever the chances are, like it's real low. So
Yeah.
Be aware.
Mm-hmm. Look at the odds. Check out Hearthstone. I think that they're doing a better job of including the odds in the client as well. You do have to do a couple of clicks, but it's actually there. So
yeah,
fair
good
warning.
on Hearthstone for that simulator, so you can kind of know what you're getting into with the simulator. See how many
Very
pulls
much
it
so.
takes you to get it.
Very big agree. And a reminder, claim your free packs on the battle.net shop. Don't forget to visit the battle.net shop to claim a free pack each week. So the one this week is a Golden Cataclysm pack. The one, and every week between this week and June 30th is another Cataclysm pack, or is a Cataclysm pack, and another one, and another one.
Yeah, just keep clicking on their shop. Sometimes I just go to it just in case. I don't even know if the event's going on where there's free packs. I just go into the shop and woohoo! There's one sitting there.
I'm looking now.
Yeah, buddy.
Because you'll read this, sometimes you'll read this and just forget about it, right? Like I know I do.
I always remember whenever I'm editing the podcast.
Yeah. You know what's funny is when you edit the podcast, it's like you did the podcast twice, right? Sometimes 3 times. And you laugh all over again at the same jokes and spots.
If I ever say like, "Oh, hey, future sheep," or like, "You're welcome," or anything like that, I will sometimes say thank you, and then it'll be like, "Oh, you're welcome, for future sheep." There's some bug fixes as well, and they have not yet fixed the bug where your friends list just keeps on going beep beep beep, but I'm sure that they are working on it because that's happening a lot.
Well, it's worth mentioning that something that's kind of cool about our friends list now is, I don't know if you guys have realized, our friends list now shows the rank of whatever server your friend is on. So like for a while last month, people were congratulating. They're like, "Oh man, wow, you're top 50 right now." It's like, whoa, and it's like, yeah, that's Asia. Like that's you should see what I played to get here. Just like let's just say I had a little bit of a head of steam coming up from like D5, playing against 10x opponents basically with 11x. But yeah, no, it's cool because like it's like, oh, congrats! I thought you were in Legend already. It's like, no, I'm coming to you right now. So it's fun to see where people are.
Yeah, I guess that's just even more so into it showing you whatever your highest rank and whatever mode you're in, like Battlegrounds or whatever. I guess this is just the next step of doing it cross server.
Yeah,
really.
but like it's whatever it is on that server, which is cool.
Yeah.
And it seemed like before like the real name bug popped up, like if your friend was like on EU, like they just wouldn't pop up at least towards the top of your friends list. And now they're, wherever they would be. And like you said,
Yeah, it's cool.
their rank, it's just like you're normally on whatever it is. And it's very clear that they're ironing out some kinks in the implementation of it, but like the core function is so awesome that it's like once the kinks are ironed out, yeah, it's gonna be like it was like that the whole time. I'm excited.
It's like we're in one big server, but we can't queue into each other.
Yeah.
Right. It was a little lame not like having EU friends right on like your NA account. And like you have EU friends and you can't tell when your EU friends are on because they're on EU and you can't see them unless you're on your friends list on EU. So like, I don't know. I think that's kind of neat now that it's like, oh, I can always tell when friends are.
Big agree. And next up is our final news item, which is Escape from Violet hold card reveals and reward schedule. So they tell us that it's coming up, that they're like, hey, the new expansion, and then here's the cinematic trailer again, and then here's the dev the expansion reveal thing again. Again, me saying these things again, it's fine to include them again. We're just not covering them in depth again. So in this one is the card reveal schedule, theory crafting community days and pre-release tavern brawl, and rewards guide. So starting off, Hearthstone card reveals with friends. Crew briefing starts on June 9th. Vanessa Van Cleef has a plan to break out of the Violet Hold, and it utilizes the skills of Azeroth's most notorious outlaws. It's time to get familiar with the details of this daring heist. Across 4 reveals hosted by Raren, we're joined by 2 content creator guests and 1 developer guest per stream, and walk through brand new cards and the expansion's rule-breaking mechanics. So all these hosted by Raren. The first one is on June 9th at 2 p.m. Central, and the guests are Firebat and Regis Kilbin.
Nice.
And the dev is Ben Malson. Then on June 11th, thank you. Then on June 11th, our guests are Brian Kibler, and Talso. And our dev is Alex Smith. On June 16th at 2 p.m., all these are 2 p.m. Pacific, we've got Trump SC and Sun Glitters. And the dev is Deck Tech, Nick Weiss. Love to see him.
Nice.
Some old school streamers on here so far. Some of these guys, man, it's kind of neat. Throwing back to the Firebat and Trump still giving her. That's neat.
Yeah, buddy. And the final card reveals are on June 18th with guests Zeddy and saved the best for last. No offense to anyone else, but Blister Guy.
Yeah. Congrats, Ray. That's awesome.
With dev Nate Kaplan.
Cool.
So the first ones are going to cover Demon Hunter, Rogue, and Shaman. The second ones are going to cover Priest, Warlock, and Warrior. The third ones are going to cover Druid and Mage. And finally, the final ones are going to be Death Knight, Hunter, and Paladin. And drops will be enabled. There will also be some special guest reveals. One on Reddit on June 8th at 10:30 Pacific. One on the Hearthstone Discord on June 10th and the final card reveal stream.
After 4 routine inspections hosted by Raren, the operation escalates into a full-scale breakout plan. Regis Kilpin teams up with Hearthstone designer Edward Goodwin to reveal the remaining cards. They'll also take the new cards straight into gameplay, because the only thing better than seeing a Violent Hold door open is seeing what's waiting on the other side. Drops are enabled on Hearthstone's Twitch and YouTube channels, so clock in, keep watch, and try not to look suspicious. When? Tuesday, June 23rd at 2 p.m. PDT, where Hearthstone, play Hearthstone, Twitch, and YouTube. Drops enabled. Twitch, 1 escape Violet Hold pack for 15 minutes of watch time. YouTube, 1 escape from Violet Hold pack for 15 minutes of watch time. So you can double dip.
Nice.
Nice.
And Hydra, can you tell us about the theory crafting community days and the pre-release tavern brawl? We can gloss over the pre-release tavern brawl bit, but
Yeah. So the theory crafting brings together players from across the globe, and they'll be streaming their escape attempts live with brand new decks and questionable strategies. So players need to have a minimum of 10 of the new Escape the Violet Hold cards in their decks. That's very important. So then we have a list of participants, and so we've got some time slots here. I mean, we could always link the article to everybody, because this goes over like all of the different time zones and where you can watch it if you're in China. If you're listening to this in China, hi. But yeah, it's a little convoluted, I guess, to get into every single one of those.
cool.
But basically, the theory crafting live stream start Thursday, June 25th.
Yeah. And I definitely would encourage you to check this one out, because the final point on there is the Escape from the Violet Hold rewards guide. And this is a great table and a great like resource to have. But we just talked about all of these things, so we're not going to just list them all again. And so this is it's set up in a table. It's set up chronologically. You know when things are going to be. Great resource to have. And this card back looks really cool.
It does.
This is a legend rank reward for the Myth of the Scarab card back.
Ooh, that is cool.
Right? And so to earn that one, it's a pre-existing achievement. So if you've already completed it, so you'll get it.
Nice.
You mean
And
I
that
already did the
looks really
thing?
cool. I know,
already
right?
did the
That's what
thing.
I was like, wait, do I have to hit legend again? I mean, I'm going to, but cool. Which rounds out our news. It was a little bit of a light news week this week. Not
Yeah,
too
not
much
much
to
going on,
talk about. Yeah.
Yeah.
But out of all of these wild relevant cards,
Mhm.
what all do we kind of want to dive into? Schmoopiedaddy, take me on a journey through the wild relevant cards coming out.
Okay, so let's start with and we'll do this kind of a lightning round. Let's start with Mugsy, which is a 6 mana, 6 attack, 7 health minion that says start a game if your deck
What?
has no other minions. Shut up. Get Mug's hero power. If it has no spells, get Z's. Mug's hero power is passive. Your first minion each turn costs 2 less. Z's hero power is a passive. Every 5th minion you play triggers its battle cry twice. Let's start with Sheep. Thoughts on Mugsy?
I love the idea of so I always have to kind of like look back and forth. Okay, which one is which one is which? So if you have no other minions, then you get your first minion each turn costs 2 less.
Yep.
If you have no spells, then every 5th minion you play the battle cry happens twice. I mean, I don't know exactly where we're going to be doing this, but like having a brand effect every 5 minions, and we're only running minions, and I imagine we're probably running mostly battle cry minions. That just seems good. And your first minion each turn costing 2 less seems pretty busted too. So like,
But you have none in your deck to start with.
To start with, yes. To start,
right, for that one.
Correct.
So you're like,
those are super powerful.
Okay.
But
Hydra,
I
what are
don't
you
know
thinking?
what I'm going to do with them.
Well, here's the thing. If you have no other minions, so I feel like you want to run this in a deck that has minions, so you do the other one, right? Unless there's some sort of trick or we're discovering minions that I haven't thought of about, maybe we're just discovering minions or not, but I'm guessing you want to play this with the one that's no spells, right? So we can play like the minion based deck. Like, it seems the most obvious way to play the deck, right? Just like bunch of minions.
Yeah,
But I'm sure there's something clever that I have not thought of yet.
Trying to go the all spells route does not look great. There's like maybe 10 cards that look decent, and then you're also doing stuff like, oh well, I should probably play Schooling. Hey, goofball, Schooling, like you're getting a 1 mana discount on your first Piranha you play that turn, which maybe that's good enough. Maybe not. So we're mostly looking at, okay, so like, what if we did like Reno Shaman, but we cut the spells and we just had minions? Well, the problem with that approach is you're cutting some premium removal, like Elemental Destruction, Lightning Storm, Devolve. These are really important spells in the meta. If right now, like Shaman's kind of in a weird place where it's struggling. The things that keep its head above water, you're now cutting from the deck so that every 5th minion you play, you get a double battle cry. It's nice that you know which one you're going to trigger, but it's every 5th minion. How many double battle cries do you really end up getting to get in a particular game? And that's a little bit harder to solve. But yeah, no, like this is at least a cute card to go and play, even though I'm not of the opinion it's a good card, but it's cute and fun, and we're going to try it in Wild and enjoy making like bad decks with this in Wild.
I know exactly what I'm going to do with this. I'm going to run Muggsy and Gin Greymane in the same deck. And I know that they're incompatible, but I want to do it.
Well, they're not incompatible if you do the Z's Might, and then it's just there's a bunch of other minions as well.
Yeah. You have to take minion route.
Well, but
and then you replace it.
Hero powers.
Oh, because
Dear God.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so funny, Sheep.
Let's go to prison. Let's go to prison. Specifically,
I think we're there now.
Zuramat's prison.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Zuramat's prison. Choose a card to discard to summon a 5/5 taunt. Death Rattle free Zuramat, who plays 1 each turn. Okay. So you might think, oh, discard Warlock's energy. I think a 5 mana, make a 5/5 taunt and discard is like way too slow for this.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm gonna do it and I'm gonna have fun, and I don't expect it to be good.
But
it's gonna be fun.
Me. No. Hydra, what are you thinking?
Well, yeah, obviously that's you see the word discard and you immediately go, what? Well, what deck does that? So I
type that into my search bar.
The first thing I also then you look at the mana cost and you see that it costs 5, and you're like, okay, and then so your reward, yes, you get a 5/5 taunt, whatever. If this is not aggressive by any means, and then so your reward is this at the end of your turn, play a discarded card. At the end of your turn, not like every turn. You just play what you did, and so you get 3 of these, right? Because it's got 3.
So it's going to be like a random choice between one of the 3 cards you've discarded.
Yeah. Oh, it's just play one of them. It's not play all of them.
No,
like
it's not. So you have to make it count, right? So like hopefully
so
do
like you could discard early on. You could discard like a Yogg box or something, and then
right. Yes.
Right. Like
that is a thing you
like
could
do something and play Yogg
That's
box
crazy.
for cheaper.
But yes, you could do that. It's not recommended. But yes, that is we were given free will, and this is a choice we can make.
You could discard your OG Cthulhu.
Okay, so at first, so at first, my first thought was possibly a hostage mage card. You're making a taunt, and you store a piece of removal you don't need in that moment as a discard. And so, like, if you, let's say, had, Nova and Alibi as, like, 2 of your choices, and your third one was, like, a rewind, so that you end up getting a Nova, an Alibi, a Frost, like, I was trying to think, like, okay, well, this is glacial. However, at least in that moment, you're always getting something back, right? Like as long as that 8/8's alive, you're getting something that's and what's funny is you could potion this, right? And you could like bounce a little dorky copy back to hand. I'm just thinking outside the like this is where my mind first went. I think it's bad. I think we're not doing it.
I wonder how the potion would work with the like. I know it says Zuramat's prison, but like how they would be like linked. Like if
at the end of your turn, play a card discarded by Zuramat's prison. So I think that has already. I would guess
that's what I'm thinking.
I would guess,
but that's a little in question.
That condition's been met. But yes, what if they're actually linked by a little individual string of code,
right? And
then the potion copy doesn't have the same little string, and you cry. Definitely could be sounds like Hearthstone. That sounds like Hearthstone stuff. That's where I first went was Hostage Mage. But I think a better place might be Demon Hunter. What if we had I forget what the 3-mana spell is where it triggers his death rattle right away. Classes that can trigger copies of death rattles like Demon Hunter can for 3 mana. Like what if you discard one thing and it's like a big stupid taunt or like something violent like Green Rag, and then you paid 3 mana to summon it on turn 6 so that you could do something stupid or violent on the board. Like that might be like you get an 8/8
because
you get your Zuramat.
But you have to kill your own location.
No.
That works for locations too?
Hold on one second. Let me read it exactly. Because this was a cute take.
Oh my.
This is a cute take by Tim Power Gamer. He suggests playing Return Policy. Discover a friendly death rattle card you played this game. Trigger its death rattle. That would work.
Yeah.
Right. So like there are ways we can kind of turbo this.
Because Return Policy would pull the 1-mana weapon. So
yeah. So it's like
Test Piercer.
If we have to use all 3 charges, it all comes down to how much do we value the 5/5 taunts. I don't value them very much. But if we can like find little cards interactions in our format to turbo this a little bit more, or very specifically to do something, that might be a little bit more interesting. This is I think an interesting card, but might not be the best card, but it's interesting. Like we've just had a good discussion and like theory crafting on how we'd play this. And we might ultimately decide it's bad, but at least we've had to cook.
Yeah.
All right, what's next in line?
Let's go with Auctioneer next.
Auctioneer. Okay. So Auctioneer looks glacial as well. But Black Market Auctioneer, prepare whenever you cast a spell, draw a card. We've had problems with Auctioneer decks in the past. There's a prospect that if you're doing something nuts like, oh, let me pass on turn 4. Oh, let me pass on turn 5. If you can afford to do that, you're talking about a cheaper Auctioneer than usual. Some might say even an unnerved Auctioneer. So people are going to cook with this. I don't know how good this is going to be. I'm probably going to hate this card when it happens because it's probably going to be some animation cheater deck and it's going to make me cry. But yeah, possibly a problem in Wild. Possibly. Maybe not. A lot of cooking has to happen before we really get to that point.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah, enough said. I agree 100% as well.
From there to Aya, Lotus Kingpin, a 6-mana 6/3 rogue, legendary minion. You will always go second. Battlecry, pick an upgraded counterfeit to replace your coins this game. Get 2. The Jade coin, you get 1 mana crystal and summon a Jade Golem. They work like Jade Golems do. Grimy coin, gain 1 mana, crystal this turn only, deal 2 damage to a random enemy minion. And the Cabal coin, gain 1 mana crystal this turn, get a random 1-cost Kazakus potion.
Okay, so you basically sacrifice the going first tempo advantage to get better coins later, and you get 2 of them. And these are also 0. It's rogue, and they feed into playing a 0-cost card and drawing another spell and stuff. So this feeds into like a miracle style thing, right? So it helps that.
Absolutely agreed. At the very least, for standard, for the designed play pattern for Aya. What I kind of think is, does Rogue just play Aya to guarantee going second and get the coin to do Miracle Road shenanigans? Like, does that ever happen?
So it's funny. 2 decks really want to go second in the Wild meta. 777's Rogue and Miracle Rogue. Both of those decks, by my estimation, have run bricks in the past. Right? Like, we don't care if we run Zephyrs. We don't care if we run Lotheb.
Right.
Neophyte has application, but, like, there's times she's a brick. Like, we've accepted culturally building bricks into those decks. Aya would be a brick, but she would guarantee that you'd be going second in a deck that kind of wants to go second. It's going to be interesting to see how much is going second every time, except when you queue into another Aya user, in which case it's back to a coin flip. But how much of an advantage is it to go second every time, to guarantee that extra card in the mulligan, to guarantee that extra coin, versus running that brick in your deck? How much does she pull your win rate down? That's going to be interesting to see. But we're going to sniff this for sure. I think the coin text is largely irrelevant. It's contingent on her battle cry, so you're going to actually have to play her to get these really cool coins. So, yeah, and as somebody points out in chat, you can run Agent of the Old Ones for bricks now too. Like, you can just turn a brick into a coin with Agent of the Old Ones, especially in that's the 1 mana 2/1 battle cry, turn a card into your hand into a coin card. We run that in 777's Rogue because it's a minion that can end up corrupting Soladrisil pretty easily. So, it's not the greatest of cards in the list. It's definitely in, like, somewhere in the middle to bottom third. But you could always turn Aya into a coin, which would just sort of be ironic. But yeah, the coins are basically irrelevant. Like, if you're planning to use the coins, that sucks. But the actual going second aspect is intriguing. Don't run this in Quasar. People are already talking about running it in Quasar. It's not hard to build this deck right. Please, don't run it in Quasar. It's also weird that we're in this moment in standard where there's a huge difference. Well, I say huge. There's a historically large difference in win rate between going first and going second.
Yeah.
And it's like what, like 10, 15%, I think people have said. Like it's up there. You could read this card and read it as 6 mana, lose the game, right? Like you're just guaranteeing that you're going second depending on the kind of deck that you're running.
Yeah.
So this is actually, I think, a more intriguing card in Wild than it will be in Standard. In Standard, it almost looks a little tone deaf and funny in that way.
Unless there's, we haven't seen the rest of the rogue cards yet. Like, are there a lot of coin generators or like coin activators or I don't know.
Don't disagree, and that's why I'd like to see all the cards at once. I know, I would like to see all of them at once.
Moving on from Aya then to a very exciting card in Dark Bribe. Dark Bribe is the aforementioned 2-mana Demon Hunter Shadow spell that reads, draw 3 spells and pick 1 to give to your opponent. In Token Demon Hunter, we run a sigil that's 3 mana that we basically just run for the discounts. And if we can run this for 2 mana, and we give 1 to our opponent, but like, how is this not like just busted in Token DH, right?
We're definitely going to try and use it. One of the things that does spook me about it is the anti-synergy with parachutes. If this works how I think it's going to work, if let's say you draw 2 cards and the third one's a parachute, when it comes time to send a card over to the opponent, you're only going to have 2 choices to pick from. Similar cards have interacted with cast when drawn cards, and the cast when drawn is basically considered in the choice and then taken out. So like you could do a really goofy high roll where you do Dark Bribe and get 3 tokens, and you're like, haha, I say 3 tokens, but it might have to be token, draw a real card, token, draw a real card, token, draw a real card. I don't know when it starts making choices as to when it's registering choices. But
that should be the correct. Yeah.
There's some weirdness here. I'm saying it's like it might not be as like slam dunk as you think it is, just because there's some weird interactions here, especially because like parachutes are so important in the deck that it might actually end up falling by the wayside a little bit. But it certainly looks like an amazing card in basically any DH deck that wants draw. There's going to be times you draw bad cards. I think it's going to be awesome in Reno DH personally.
Ooh,
I think Reno Demon Hunter loves this, but also not only that, the Reno Demon Hunter I've been playing more recently runs the quest line as well, and this is 2 mana complete the first stage of the quest line. So like, it's like, all right, let me send over my Renathal to my buddy over there, and also I'm completing the quest on 2. Sweet. Like I think that's kind of cool.
I wonder if this does have anti-synergy with patches in the parachutes. Like, do we ever run a version of the deck? Not necessarily the better one, but like, do we ever try cutting patches for one of the Dark Bribes and something else for the other? Because drawing 3 at once in Token DH is so powerful. And if you can like quest on 1, Dark Bribe on 2, like, I don't know.
What happens if you drew 3 parachutes?
You wouldn't have anything to choose. You're good.
Yeah. But like Schmoopie talked about, it would have to be like parachute and then the extra card, and then
you get your pirate card. In that scenario, you don't have any to choose to send over. Yeah, you got 3 parachutes and they all cast themselves already, so there's nothing to pick from. No, I think Patches is like one of the best cards in the mulligan for the deck. So I'm not seeing myself changing the entire structure to make that work, because he is an important token generator.
To your point from last week, with Azalea about how Copper always is trying different things. I think that Patches is the correct way if they have anti-synergy, but I wonder if we should try it just to see.
We'll put Ben from work on the case.
There we go. All right, moving on then to Godfrey. Godfrey is Godfrey the Betrayer is a 4-mana 5/4 warlock, undead. Start of the game. Overdrawn cards return to your hand when you have space. And they cost 1 less.
Cool. I mean, I this is not a deck that I would. What's that guy's name? Valdris? Where you draw. What does it draw for? Increase your hand size to 12.
Yep.
For 7 mana. This seems like something that you could play in that deck. This is a start of game thing. I don't know. It seems cool, but it's not a deck that I've really played much of. But you're never gonna lose those cards. Like when someone overdraws you.
Thanks for discounting my cards, yo.
And stuff. All you're doing now, it's like countering the mill guys. I like that. Nothing's more frustrating than playing against a mill deck. Or hostage mages. Hi, Schmoopy.
It's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me.
I would like to recognize that Schmoopiedaddy just quoted Taylor Swift, by the way. Just
against my will.
I never would have known that.
There was unprompted.
I just learned something.
It made me so happy.
Yeah, there's so the places we could put this. You could do it during you can use it for the in seed lock for the mass production spam turns because you're frequency milling, frequently milling mass productions, and so like you could store up basically like an infinite number of 0 mana mass productions and just sort of turbo destroy the opponent. I mean,
interesting.
That effect might be
even
worth.
Need to save them up. You're spamming them, and then you're overdrawing them, and then you're spamming them, and then you're overdrawing.
But you kind of have to get through all the other cards in your deck first before that becomes what is actually happening, and you also have to run a little bit of a break in your deck in order to do it. I'm not saying there's like I have a tough time.
But the
finding...
more you play mass productions, the more you draw mass productions.
True, but the first couple, I'm saying like the first couple cards, like you want to hope that the first couple cards you draw off the mass productions are like Molten Giant or Flesh Giant, where they're just gonna like drop down to 0 and you don't have to worry about it. Like that would be ideal, but because like I think there are some loops where you can kind of burn. You can lean. This card is going to make hand space management in Warlock even closer to brain dead drooler levels. Like we're getting like we've already taken like Hearthstone, which has basically eliminated the hard part of Warlock hurting yourself to like, no, never mind, who cares? And this is basically taking hand space management the other way. Talk Lock is probably another application where it's like, well, I'm just going to fill my hand as fast as possible. And who cares if I overdraw Finley? I'll drop a card and Finley will pop in there. Like, it's going to make like...
Even Lock.
It'll make like Even Lock. Okay, that's actually interesting. Even Lock will maybe be... I'm not going to say viable, but definitely more interesting. Like, what if we tap every turn? What if we tap every turn and like my hand is always full and I can always drop Anatheron and I can always drop Knolls.
Accidentally, who hasn't burned a card in Even Lock? Like, come on.
Oh, hell yeah. No, of course.
Only people who haven't ever played a game of it.
Like, you're going to have some interesting turns in Even Lock where, you know how like you can have like Anatheron and the Goldshire Knolls all on the same side, all in the same like 10 cards left in deck, and you're like, oh sweet, I can play all 3 of these. No, I can't because of their text. And so like you drop the Anatheron first and the Knolls turn into 2, you're like, ah, shoot. If you're overdrawing cards, the Knolls could still be 1. So you could actually have one of these magical turns ones where you go like Anatheron, Knoll, and it's like, yes, I did it. They said I couldn't be done. But technology is finally caught up.
Get there. I had no idea where this was going, and I'm just staring at it. I'm like, wait a minute. Even Lock. That would be cool.
I think this is a really cool card. I think we're gonna try it a lot in Warlock. I think Wild's a little Warlock weary right now, so that's not like boding the best. But I think this is a really cool design space. But it may not be good design because it might make one of the hard aspects of Warlock easier, and they keep doing that. It's a little grr.
Yeah.
Cool.
Speaking of grr, Hogger is next. 8 mana, 10/10. Warrior legendary taunt. Start of the game. Duplicate all other legendaries in your deck. Schmoopiedaddy, how are we going to put this to the best effect?
Okay, so it's start of game, so start of game is broken. Like, let's just start with that. If it's start of game and it's an automatic effect,
nuts.
Ever since Malchezaar.
It's great. The fact that we can copy, we can choose what legendary cards are going to be copied is incredible. I'm trying to scroll up and find exactly where Raxius like wrote out all the conditions. But basically,
if you run Reno, does it break Reno? I guess it breaks Reno.
Yeah, it breaks Reno, it breaks Zeph, it breaks Keliseth, right? Because it's making copies of those cards. So, like, if you're going to go like, oh, I'm going to go super greedy Reno deck, but I'm going to get 2 copies of all the cards. Well, okay, like, that's, slow your roll, bro. I guess you're going to have to run a Steam Cleaner so that you can, run a Steam Cleaner so you can get rid of all the extra copies all at once. So, there we go. Rax just wrote it out for me again. Thank you, Rax. You get copies of whatever is in your deck at start of game, and this means you get an extra copy of quests or whatever. Other start of game effects go off first. If other effects create legendary cards before a Hogger activates, you get duplicates of those as well. So you'll get duplicates of Malchezaar's random legendaries. You'll get duplicates of Cthulhu the Shattered pieces. You'll get duplicates of Dragon Soul pieces. Like you will get all the dupes.
And other starting effects going off first means that Reno, the 8 mana one, is active, and that Bran, that
Badlands text is still good to go. It's Reno, OG, and Zeph are not going to be in step with playable in the deck. Double patches and cute warrior. Yeah, like there's going to be some really like people at first go super greedy with this, but I think the most interesting application is going to be plus 100 armor warrior or 100 armor soul thrace warrior, depending on how we want to do it. 2 copies of Ceaseless Expanse, 2 copies of Finley. Like you're gonna have a lot more redundancy and extra copies of the pieces that you want and need to hit. So that's going to be really interesting to see how people build around that aspect. You might run Hogger as like top end in an aggro deck just to get extra copies of patches. Like it's like just sort of like just silly little applications of like, this could be. It looks like it's like very clearly designed for one kind of deck, but it could very quickly, because it has no minion type. It's not going to get pulled off of all you can eat. It actually might have even more applications because there's no stipulation put to it. It's just a big thing. But is it really the worst thing in the world to play 8 mana for a 10/10 taunt? That's above rate with a crazy effect. Cool. So keep your eyes peeled. This one's going to be fun to cook with.
Nice.
Then Irida Sinseeker is a 4 mana 7/5 Demon Hunter, legendary. Lifesteal Battlecry, send your deck to the void. At the start of your turns, get 2 cards from the void.
So we had a
interesting
similar card in Duels that was not the same. And the similar card in Duels took whatever was in your deck and basically made it like you wouldn't take Fatigue. You would instead have a little card from your deck get pooped out. And if you dug into your deck and took copies out, like did extra drawing, that extra drawing removed those copies from ever being pooped out at random anymore. So that's how this used to work. I don't think the void is that same little thing though. So you're going to end up just taking fatigue.
Yeah, that they showed that in the video.
So you're not, there's nothing
correctly.
stopping you from taking fatigue. Now here's the thing. In our format, we can weaponize fatigue. We have
so very
Arana.
much.
So we're kind of okay with sending our deck into the void, having card advantage, and oh, by the way, if you already have Arana in hand, you're ready to go look for lethal. This is a 4-mana 7/5. Turn 4, you might want to do a big brute drop, but like if you have to like find time to play this like put this down, it doesn't seem like it's going to be all that hard to do so, right? Like 4 is a little expensive, but it's aggressively statted, and it has lifesteal. Oh my god, I didn't even realize it had a lifesteal.
Uh-huh.
This thing's going to be gross. This is
I
another.
didn't watch the video on this. I have a question.
Sure.
So this is a battle cry. Send your deck into the void, and then
Yes.
still on this card it says at the start of your turns, get 2 cards from the void. At the start of your turn. So as long as this card's in play, that happens because it's on the text of the card. It doesn't say for the rest of the game. At the start of your turns, get 2 cards from the void. So when this dies, does the void go away? And
That's a
your
great
cards go
question.
back into
I
your
assumed
deck?
for the rest of the
No,
game you would just get 2 cards.
For the rest
it
of the game,
doesn't
you should
say
just get
that.
2 cards because it does with the
'Cause
battle
part of the-
cry. Because the battle cry is
Send it into the
is
void.
both. So the void
Yeah.
is there, and then at the start of your turn, draw 2 cards from the void. So whenever Irida's
Yeah, I'm just
gone,
wondering because it doesn't
then-
say rest of game, so I'm just curious if the void
Because-
disappears when this dies. I don't know.
because the start of your turn happens all of the time. It's the difference between a battle cry effect and the like
Yeah, the start of your turn does happen all the time, but I just don't know if it persists when this
and
is dead
because
because
it's a
it's part
battle
of
cry, it will. If it was
Yeah.
it will because it's a battle cry.
Something else that's interesting is it says get, not draw. Will those
Correct.
gotten cards count as drawn cards, or will things like shoots end up in your hand? If it's get, in the sense that they materialize in your hand and are generated there, as opposed to drawn from the void, right? Like the void pretends it's a deck for a second, you're drawing a card from it. We could have some really interesting interactions either way of that. But yeah, we're still taking fatigue, which is why I think it's going to be more get than drawn. But we can also weaponize fatigue. So it's like,
Yeah.
I would even consider her in like Reno DH. Like getting card advantage in Reno Demon Hunter can be like a big deal. It's like one of the weakest things that the deck has. And you're also running Reno. So like there's a chance that you draw your out anyway. Now, I think you can also draw duplicates of cards you've already gotten from the void. So, like, you know, it really is like a 2-in, however much it was when you sent it into the void, chance of getting whatever cards you draw. But I don't know. This is another example of this is a cool card to cook with, right? Like we're sitting down and we can have a really interesting discussion about different types of decks, different approaches that all kind of might want this card. And they're all kind of cool. And even if they're bad, the process of having to figure that out is fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure enough.
So I think that's like overall been like the theme, I think, of the set of the cards that we've seen so far is they've taken some risks. They may ultimately not be good, but they're all interesting enough that you're like, oh man, I have to try this. Oh man, I have to cook this. And I think this is my prediction. My prediction is they're going to come out and standard players are going to say that they're bad because they're not going to win immediately because they're not completely obvious necessarily what's the best way to use them or cook around them. So they're going to say that they're bad. And then some days are going to go by and then some decks are going to get developed. And then maybe that will pick up. But I think there'll be an initial rush to judgment of, no, this set's bad. I think because it's going to take time to cook.
Mm-hmm.
I can totally see that. And these are all just like great cards that we don't see any parasitic anything going on in here. I'm so excited for all of these big things.
Yeah, it's always an exciting season. I mean, I don't, like I said, I don't remember if this is early or not, but it's over a month early that they've started this. Yeah, it might be about right, but it just seems like it's far away still, and a lot of time to build some hype. So I know Schmoopiedaddy, you want everything at once, but it looks like we're gonna get that drip feed.
Ugh.
Sorry, buddy.
Ugh.
Yep. You don't know how to cook yet.
Unrelated Advice with Hydralisk.
Hydra.
Schmoopiedaddy.
Hydra, is all aluminum created equal?
No. All aluminum isn't created equal. I don't really have a funny answer for this.
Okay, so this
But,
is. Go ahead. I can add context if you want a little bit more information as to why I'm going down this route.
You can. Yeah, you can add some more context if you would like.
Sure. So, my son and I are really enjoying playing Blades right now. And something that I find fascinating is the actual blade part that they've crafted out of some kind of aluminum, right?
Yeah.
It dents, it scratches. It doesn't seem to shave much, and the shavings that come off are not sharp. So I'm curious if you know something about the construction of that sort of aluminum. Like, why does it have these properties, or why might it have these properties? Taking your best guesses as an industry professional of material science.
Well, aluminum, there are different grades of aluminum. So when people are purchasing things, there's lower grades. I think it's like 6061 is the most common grade of aluminum that you're going to get. That's generic. People use it for like almost anything. And then there's like tougher grades and stuff like that. But the biggest thing is aluminum products are often anodized. And what that is putting basically, it's almost like it's a coat. It's like a coating. It's like, but for aluminum, you can harden like different metals, like different steels, 4140 and stuff like that. And you can case harden stuff to make the outside harder. For aluminum, what they do is they put anodizing, and there's different grades of that, and you can have thicker types of anodizing. So I'm guessing the different Beyblades all have different thicknesses or layers of this anodizing, quote unquote, coating that I'm talking about. And if you wanted to be like one of the best Beybladers out there, you could probably custom anodize those aluminum parts and make them even like stronger and even more, dent resistant and stuff like that. Because you'll still get denting with anodizing. That does happen, but maybe you're getting those shavings and stuff because of it. But that's the key. You can get different thicknesses and all that stuff. You could be the best Beyblader out there and not have yours get damaged nearly as much as everybody else's. Look up anodizing.
Wiser words have never been spoken. You heard that on
Born to be wild.
Yeah, I gotta take some pictures sometime, because there's like some really cool places where you can tell that there's been bumping and bending. And there's been places where chips have come off. But whenever we like the little because I'm used to working in a shop with robotics, the little shavings, it's like, oh God, no, like it's like just as bad as a splinter, especially if you like are unlucky enough to get it near your eye. It's like, no. But none of the flakes that come off, they're never sharp, which was like fascinating to me. I'm like, how is this happening?
Yeah, because aluminum doesn't tend to, it's kind of it's like a tough material that dents. It doesn't crack really, like it can, but it it's gonna dent before you smash it with a hammer. It's gonna leave a big dent instead of cracking because it's like tougher instead of harder.